Hi aspirants, welcome to another lecture. In this lecture number 28, which deals with current affairs, I will discuss the articles which have appeared in leading newspaper Indian Express on 29th May 2021. In this lecture, I will show how the articles which had appeared can be mapped to GS Mains Paper 2. These articles are sometimes value additions to what we study in GS Mains, and alternatively probable questions can be framed for respective GS Mains Paper 2. We have scanned the leading dailies and selected articles which are relevant from the Civil Services Mains examination perspective. What we present in this lecture showcases our innovative ways to extract value from newspaper reading, especially articles. The first article we will discuss is titled as Data, an essential weapon against COVID. This article appeared in Indian Express on 29th May 2021. This might be an important question in GS Mains Paper 2. Access to data is critical for experts to analyze and provide evidence-based knowledge. This is imperative for decision making. The COVID-19 pandemic has highlighted globally how important data is to governments in decision making. This has been demonstrated in the evidence-based response and decision-making in countries like South Korea. Exploiting all the available data is essential for modern response to pandemics. This is helpful for policy action in real time. It is quite obvious that epidemiological data is of paramount significance for targeting and implementing control measures for public health in a timely fashion. There has never been a coherent statistical picture of public health in India, nor of the provision of health services. In the current scenario, where India is ravaged by COVID-19, there is need for data, transparency and data sharing. Why data sharing is important? The need for timely data sharing lies in its utility through analysis, and its power resides in its interpretation. The current pandemic is a prime example. It has revealed the need for continuous and repeated tracking of case numbers, fatalities and recoveries. The epidemiological concept of flattening the curve and its predictions are results of data analysis and modeling. The first wave showed us how certain underlying illnesses, comorbidities could impact the outcome of the disease. The data analysis helps us to measure our preparedness, prognostic versus diagnostic ability, and shape our responses to identify, manage, and care for new cases. Epidemic outbreak data like case data, medical and treatment data can be used to understand disease pathogenesis and severity. Genome sequencing surveillance helps identify and track viral genome sequence variants in real time and the evolution of the virus. Data is most valuable when one compares it to a control. Hence, background data defining underlying characteristics of the resident population, including demographics, movement data, health infrastructure, water supply system, and hygiene infrastructure are critical. Open access to various data enables models to improve forecast and study the spread of the disease. When genome surveillance data is correlated with the magnitude of cases and their outcomes, that is fatalities or recovery, then we can understand the transmissibility or infectivity of the virus. Geographical mapping of prevalence of mutants allows us to understand viral spread and explain recoveries or deaths in a specific area. Surveillance through studying genome sequencing of the virus coupled to other epidemiological data allows us to identify these connections. Outbreak analysis, starting with diseases surveillance systems followed by risk assessment, management and response, results in evidence-based actionable information. The integration and analysis of multiple heterogeneous data types eventually would yield a holistic picture and help guide policy decisions for control and management of public health. What are the constraints in data collection? First, Part of the challenge in evidence-based decision-making pertains to the standardization of data collection, curation, annotation, and the seamless integration of data analytics pipelines for outbreak analytics. Second, there is a need for proper data standards which instills consistency, reduces errors, and enables transparency. Third, the operational constraints of data security, data availability, quality, and confidentiality has to be ensured, which is of critical importance. Large-scale attempts at data sharing through social media have been riddled by privacy and security concerns. This calls for a systemic infrastructure with built-in safeguards to ensure data encryption while preserving anonymity and ensuring privacy. As our dependence on database decisions becomes more and more critical, there is a requirement of urgent charter for a standardized digital health data in India. Now we move to the second article. Why UGC's proposal for blended teaching is a bad idea. University Grants Commission has mooted a proposal to encourage blended teaching in higher education institutions effectively means replacement of face-to-face teaching with online teaching. It recommends that 30% of courses will be online initially with the aim to eventually make it 70%. Why a blended approach? This move seeks to liberate students as the present teaching is top-down, teacher-centric, one-size-fits-all, and ignores the diversity of students. A blended approach would provide students autonomy. Second, instill a disposition of self-advocacy. Third, promote student ownership. And fourth, enable them to learn at their own pace. Teachers will become coaches and mentors, whereas now they are merely knowledge providers. The courses would be available online to be accessed by students worldwide through instructors. This view found favor with policymakers of Indian higher education after the advent of massive open online course, in short MOOC, in 2012. What is massive open online course? Massive open online courses are free online courses available for anyone to enroll. Massive open online courses provide an affordable and flexible way to learn new skills, advance your career, and deliver quality educational experiences at a scale. The massive online open courseware were seen as a potential replacement of physical campuses, but massive open online courses failed to persuade universities in the USA to accept them. In 2003, professors in the philosophy department at San Jose University, State University, famously refused to teach a course developed by a star professor, Michael Sandel, through edX. They said they do not want to enable a push to replace professors, dismantle departments, and provide a diminished education for students in public universities. Professor Sandel responded by saying that he firmly believed that online courses could not replace face-to-face interaction between students and teachers. But in India, universities are already being pushed to teach courses available on the SWAYAM MOOC platform. The right of the faculty to develop their own courses and pedagogy cannot be taken away by invoking students. Now, what are the advantages of face-to-face learning? Higher education institutions are not only about the students, they are also meant to be a space for teachers. Every society needs teachers. They are not merely knowledge providers. They do have a responsibility to introduce students to all sources of knowledge, but they are also knowledge creators. What happens on the campuses is dialogue. And by interacting with generations of students and colleagues, one learns to think. We need different kinds of teachers in each discipline on our campuses. They bring with them diverse ways of looking at the world. The student must have an opportunity to be in the company of differences and disagreements. It is this that would help her democratize herself. Another important role of the university, especially in the context of India, is to help democratize society. The campuses give the youth relative freedom from the shackles of communities they come from. Why this new move has been proposed? This move has been proposed to reduce the role of the universities to merely enabling the transaction of pre-cooked syllabi is to ignore their larger and more important purpose in all societies. They also serve as critics of their respective societies. Universities in India are historically seen as places where political citizenship is shaped. By marginalizing this idea and seeing students as consumers of knowledge, the policymakers seek to take the sting out of the enterprise of higher education. This new move should not come as a surprise, as this government has right from the beginning seen physical campuses as a nuisance. It has unleashed its students' wing to discipline students and teachers, use punitive measures, and nearly finished them off as deliberative spaces. This is yet another move to tighten control over classrooms. The last 7 years have seen a gradual reduction in the budget allocation for higher education. The new proposal is a way of cutting the number of teachers in the name of liberating students. This proposal also refuses to acknowledge the huge digital divide that exists in India. It would certainly punish poor students and those from the SC/ST communities the most. Under the garb of uniformity, a centralized body like the UGC would attempt to impose its own selection of courses on all the universities. There does exist a huge attraction for the idea of uniformity among powerful sections of Indian society. Only recently, universities were asked to adopt the syllabi prepared by the UGC, which was generous enough to allow them to have 20% content of their choice. For universities to be world-class, adopting measures like blended teaching would definitely diminish our stature in the eyes of the international academic community. That is all for now. Before I sign off, do tune in for my next videos on new topics. Please share this video with your friends and subscribe in large numbers. We really appreciate your encouragement and constructive suggestions. Keep evolving. Thanks.